back into Fox Weather, your severe weather HQ. We are tracking tornadoes in Nebraska. You look out of Corey Gerken's windshield, our Fox Weather exclusive storm tracker, and he is in pursuit of a tornado-warned supercell that has already dropped a very dangerous and large tornado through, unfortunately, a couple of communities. So we are monitoring this situation very closely. It is no longer a confirmed tornado, but it is still tornado warned. The opportunity for that rotation is there. And well, we were looking at a particularly dangerous situation just about 10 minutes ago. So the atmosphere is volatile, a lot of lightning. Look at that. I mean, this is just an incredible view of this storm as Corey has continued to position himself in a safe place to track what this storm is doing, not only producing that tornado risk, but also baseballs in hailstones and some damaging wind gusts and very heavy rain. So I think one thing to note, look how just dark those skies are, right? I mean, this is the type of view that you know something dangerous is happening. And so for those of us who are under those current warnings, you need to be in a safe place and you need to be staying there through the duration of those warnings. Whether we tag it confirmed or not, it's still capable of producing life-threatening weather. We do have tornado watches up for eastern Nebraska that run through 11 p.m. Central Time that continues over the border into northern Kansas. We have a tornado watch in effect for parts of far southeastern South Dakota, Sioux Falls. Now, we'll have to monitor Sioux Falls. We just had a storm drive through there in the last hour and a half. That has since pushed off to the east into the I-90 corridor, kind of flanking southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. That watch runs until 10 p.m. and newly issued is this severe thunderstorm watch until 9 p.m. for far eastern couple counties in Colorado and into Kansas, where yesterday in and around Colby, Kansas, over towards Goodland, we did have some pretty destructive weather, confirmed 80-mile-per-hour wind reports and tornadoes. So getting you to that tornado watch, again, this runs through this evening where we could see a strong tornado, a possibility, if not intense, that's EF3 or greater. Zeroing in on our warnings, we'll start first with our tornado warning. So you look below me at Corey Gerken's camera and you can see where Corey is placed right now. And then as we kind of play around with our radar scans, so I've got our what we call reflectivity, which basically is just an idea of what we're seeing. Rain, you can also pick out the hail core, right? Those darker pinks and purples, that's oftentimes not always heavy rain, but usually hailstones. And then you have the structure where, again, I think this supercell is cycling just a bit. Taking a look at the rotation, not as strong as it once was through this zone, but still notable and something that we will continue to follow very closely. But I want to show you what we had been tracking. And again, still severe warned for that hail threat. Baseballs is what we're expecting. And with this storm, that's going to be displaced just up to the north of where that tornado risk is. And this tornado warning includes Merrick, Nance, and Polk counties. For Merrick County, we just had this kind of cross over the border and it's lifting up to the northeast. A look here in Colorado. Is this over by? Oh, okay. Okay, so let's switch gears, guys. We're going to go to Nebraska. We were in Nebraska. We're going to go over to Colorado because in Colorado, we have a really nasty supercell on the I-70 corridor, and we are looking at a camera right in the middle of it. And by the way, it is tornado warned. And this supercell, I mean, we're looking at an impressive return. Now, we are getting a sampling of this storm out of the Goodland, Kansas radar. You can see the radar beam off to the right side of your screen. So as that sampling the storm, we're going to continue to get a new reading, say every 15-30 seconds or so. But the shake of that camera is incredible. So zeroing in, let's see if I can get there's Stratton. So there you are, we're on the I-70 corridor. So the tornado risk is much farther south than Stratton, but we are seeing that wind potential right now. And I'm curious, I'm gonna see how strong our winds are. We are looking at 70-mile-per-hour winds, so that's a considerable threat, and up to ping pong ball sized hail. Although I'll tell you, Yeah, go ahead. I'll tell you, these hailstones, that hail core is definitely looking even more impressive than that. But I mean, the shake of the camera still there. I mean, we're talking 70-mile-per-hour winds on the I-70 corridor, and this storm is pushing off to the east at about, what was it, 55 miles per hour, I think. So it's got a good pace to it. I think the difference between storms that we were tracking yesterday and what we've been tracking so far this evening has been the pace of these storms, how quickly they've been moving. It speaks to, I think, a lot of the dynamics in the atmosphere as well. Our increasing low-level jet, the trough that's swinging in from the west, that too is now opening up this basically storm highway in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, that as these storms grow vertically, they tap into those stronger winds and it gives them a little extra boost. But so this is a nasty looking storm. Again, sitting just in our far eastern counties of Colorado, and it is expected to continue due east on the I-70 corridor. And this was yesterday where, let me see if I can pull it up, in the last 24 hours, we had, look at all our storm reports in the last 24 hours. And by the way, that tornado, I should say that supercell that we had, that was from yesterday. So when I told you we had almost like a carbon copy yesterday versus today, that's exactly what I mean. We had one cell that started over in Lyman, and then it continued down the I-70 corridor, and then it worked its way into Goodland. So it is a rinse and repeat scenario of what we're looking at right now. And so with that, you know, we had verified reports of baseball-sized hail. We had one confirmed tornado outside of Goodland. We had 80-mile-per-hour winds. Our strongest wind reports of the day yesterday came out of these cameras right now. Seibert, Colorado. I mean, just look at the shake of that camera. Incredible, right? And so I think for these areas, you definitely need to be in a safe place. We have that extension of our severe thunderstorm warning, that tornado possible tag, still radar indicated, but as we get closer to the radar, let's just sample it and get an idea. So you can see a little messy, but nonetheless, we do have some bright returns, and that couplet right about in this zone of where we're getting, you know, some potential rotation. I'm gonna try to match this up with what I see on reflectivity. So there's our inflow, probably right about in here. So let me see if I can get this to match. So yeah, so probably right about here is where we have that tornado potential. I'll put on our debris tracker and nothing really showing. So that's some good news. This is, I would have to imagine, maybe a little bit more of a rural area, just given what we're seeing on our cameras in Stratton. But the hail threat is there, and we are going to continue to monitor these big hailstones. I think, you know, it's warned for golf ball sized hail, but the potential for egg-sized hail or greater with this type of return is something that's certainly notable. So we've got that coming out of Colorado. That's going to continue on the I-70 corridor into Kansas. Jumping over to a couple more warnings. And again, don't forget, we have our one supercell up north of the I-80 corridor that Corey's been watching for us. But then we also have these storms developing now a little farther to the south, where we had a splitting supercell in the last hour. You see, I bring it back to about 40 minutes ago, and you had this storm that developed and then split as it lifted up into Nebraska, far southern Nebraska. And now we're just waiting to see how it continues to develop. Brandon, you can see where he is, his icon, and he's been watching this storm to note if there's any type of rotation, anything that would definitely be of note. But so we're focusing in there, and then a little farther south, we have some storms developing on the I-70 corridor. These, again, we have the type of environment, especially with our low-level jet increasing this evening, where they basically go from 0 to 100. You have the little puffy cumulus cloud amongst the blue sky that then becomes this towering giant 20 minutes later, producing golf ball sized hail. And this is sitting right on the I-70 corridor, lifting up to the north, already looking a little linear. And I think that's interesting, right? Because remember, I told you there's going to be a small window, a couple of hours, where we're going to get these supercells, these discrete supercells, but then eventually we're going to see this upscale growth and that linear mode, that line of storm storms is ultimately going to take over as the primary threat. Some embedded twist, yes, where that tornado risk continues after dark, but the damaging wind threat is going to be something that will likely start to take over. So I'm just looking at how these storms have developed, a little more of a linear structure, perhaps maybe trying to fill in here further to the south across parts of northern Kansas into southern Nebraska. So that's a look right now in those 3 states. Why don't we add another one to the board? In fact, want to head up towards Sioux Falls. So now we're watching this bowing structure. This is a line of storms that developed about 3 hours ago, and it's already produced a lot of damage, and it's going to continue to drive on the I-90 corridor. We do have a tornado warning in effect. Now, what we're watching here versus what's different than what we're watching in Nebraska is that those storms are discrete and they are not competing with much to produce that dangerous tornado threat. Here, not to say that it's not the same scale, but they are rather brief, quick embedded twistings that produce that tornado risk, but it's still, again, a damaging wind threat that's driving here as well. So here's that rotation sitting rather broadly on the I-90 corridor, but nonetheless is still something to note, and maybe a couple different areas of spin that we'll watch for that could produce maybe a brief tornado. And oftentimes when you get that bowing structure, you can see on either end, right, little kind of bookend twist. But also too, you can get some twisting on the forward push. So we'll monitor that tornado warning if you are in Nobles and Rock counties in Minnesota on the I-90 corridor. Get to a safe spot, and then Colorado too, where we've got one supercell producing a lot of hail and heavy wind and rain. We'll be right back.